Ohio license number 27133.
This is your drive time traffic update on Canton's Morning News.
Traffic and weather brought to you by Crown Heating and Cooling, family owned and operated, serving the residential and commercial heating and cooling needs since 1960. If you are heading out this morning, you should be in pretty good shape. Not a whole lot of folks out and about today. So just let us know if you see any trouble spots and we'll pass them along. 330-450-1480.
Canton's severe weather station. Stick with us. Now, the 1480 WHBC AccuWeather forecast.
Breezy and cooler with some clouds today and a high of 45. Cloudy most of the time tonight, low 32. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with an afternoon shower and a high of 45. And then for Thanksgiving, a little snow in the morning, little or no accumulation, and a high around 40. Right now, 42 degrees on your severe weather station, 1480 WHBC. All right, it's about time we get this man back in the studio. Actually, let's welcome in Canton Mayor Bill Sherer. How are you, sir?
Morning, Pam.
And the only reason is that we haven't had you in the studio is because all of your council folks have been coming in, which has been great.
I think it's good for them to come in and talk about what's going on in their ward and the projects going on, and it's good for them to do that.
Yeah, I think eventually by the time, they were hesitant at first maybe, but by the end they were very proud of the things they were accomplishing. So that was good. So it all worked out. So, boy, we've got a lot of things we want to get to this morning,
Okay.
correct?
Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff going on right now.
Yes.
So.
I see the list here. So negotiations, let's start with that because people are always wondering about city contracts.
All right, so it's kind of unique for me because I've been on the labor side my entire career. Now I'm on the management side. But we have 5 unions with the city. The city has settled negotiations with our 2 public employees unions, ASME's 2937 and 3449, and council has already approved that. We're still continuing negotiations with Canton Fire, Canton PD, and FOP. So that is still ongoing. And so, and the contracts don't expire to the end of the year. So we still got a little bit of time left.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Anything, any kind of pay raises or anything that's in the works for any of that, or?
Well, the city is proposing a 4% increase for management and non-bargaining. That would be basically for everybody for the first year. And that would be in line with what we're negotiating with the unions. So
it puts everybody on an even keel then.
And it's not going to financially break the city to do a 4%. It's just, with inflation and everything else, it's just trying to be realistic, but also being realistic. I also have a fiduciary responsibility to, balance the budget for the city also.
Yeah.
But I think it's more than the contracts that we're negotiating are more than fair contracts. So.
And when I talked to some of the council members, a lot of them brought up the paving in their wards and things like that. So how has that been going?
2024 was very successful. We stepped up our paving program. We talked about the alleys, where the goal is to pave every alley in the city in the first 4 years, and we're heading in that direction. I'm excited that, Market Avenue finally got paved. Now, they still have to finish Market Avenue next year, where from 19th to 15th, and where Walnut breaks off by the food bank, the old Fisher Foods. Cleveland Avenue is going to get paved from 12th Street to the city limits next spring. We're going to continue to work on East Tusk. We secured a $2.2 million grant from the federal government, courtesy of Congresswoman Sykes, to work on East Tusk. So we're going to do a complete streetscape, but we're going to do East Tusk in sections. West Tusk will be paved by next year, with the exception of the roundabouts, which that's probably an hour conversation about that.
Yes.
The roundabouts are supposed to be constructed in front of Allman Hospital in 2026. So we are making progress on our paving program.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who it was. I think it was your roads guy that I talked about the roundabouts. Some people like them, some people don't. So that's just kind of how it is.
I'll put it this way: in neighborhoods, I'm not a fan, but I will say there are places for them, and also we secure federal dollars for those roundabouts also. So
that's good. People would be really mad if you were wasting money on them.
Oh, there you go.
What else? What other things? Task force. I saw you set up a couple of different commissions and things like that.
Yeah,
too.
so we had set up the homeless in the city of Canton has been more, as we're seeing an uptick in homeless in the city of Canton. And I'm grateful that the city has resources. But, excuse me, we're working with Scott Schneider from the Refuge, Shanna Smith from the YW, because the YWCA houses women, working with ICANN and working with, the great organizations that we have to try to address the homeless issue in the city of Canton. Now, I'm grateful that the city has resources, and there's a lot of communities around us that don't offer these resources. But there's going to be people that are going to take advantage of these resources. But there's also, you're combating the mental health issue. There's people with addiction issues. But also it's, trying to address those issues also.
Yeah.
And I think it's better that we all put our heads together to try to solve these issues.
Yeah, I think that's one thing people many times want to help a homeless person, but as you approach some people, then you can tell that there is a mental health issue.
Well, just like when we put the panhandling signs up, when somebody would give $20 that has mental health issues and addiction issues, that $20 will go so much farther with all the great non-for-profits that we have in our community, like the Hunger Task Force and the Akron Canton Food Bank, and the list just goes on and on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and go to a better place for sure.
Yep.
Also, Housing Committee, Habitat for Humanity.
Well, so what we did was the county did a housing study on their own. And, so myself and Bob Diaf had a conversation. And Bob wanted to set up a committee in the city of Canton of how we can come together. So what we came together, it was Bob Dehoff, it was Steve Kuhn. Steve Kuhn's talking about building houses with Kenny Peterson and Mike Doss. We had Beth Lechner from Habitat. You had Don Ackerman from Canton for All People. But we also had Mike King with King Properties. And we had our building department there, our planning department with Don Angus, zoning with Matt Bailey, and it was really all hands on deck to address how can we make the biggest impact with housing in the city of Canton. If Intel wanted to build here, we would have a major problem because the housing crisis, just not in the city of Canton, but it's the housing crisis in this country. I'm grateful that we got 3 great projects that are going on. We got Robert Station over by the Hall of Fame Fitness Center, where that's going to be 50 units of workforce apartments. You got the loft behind Lobies on Cleveland Avenue. Okay. That's going to be 50 additional units. And the Newton Family Apartments with Canton for All People is starting construction, where the former Canton Inn is. So I had tasked Don Angus in planning I want to know every lot that's available in the city of Canton. So he identified on a GSI map about 2,200 lots in the city of Canton. Now you think about this. These are lots that we are already mowing, we're already servicing. There's city blocks that are shovel ready for development to start building houses, and we're going to make a huge push. When you talk about the neighborhood plan that we have and redeveloping these neighborhoods one block at a time, housing is going to be a key component, and code enforcement and a lot of other stuff.
That's amazing. 2,200.
Yeah, and we're still counting right now.
Yeah, wow.
So,
man. All right, so we've got Light Up Canton, Light Up Downtown. That's going to be next week.
Yeah, but it's going to be next Thursday. It's going to be a lot of good stuff. Santa's going to be coming down, and we're going to be dropping the puck at the ice rink.
Yay! Get the ice rink open and ready to go.
So today they're going to be installing the tree down at Central Plaza, and then Saturday we're going to be decorating the tree, and we got Light Up Downtown in combination with the chamber.
Yes.
So there's going to be a lot of good stuff going on.
We'll be helping. We are partnering with the fire department. They collect hats and gloves and mittens and things, and so they'll be here with us and distribute those off our front lawns.
And that worked out great for you guys last year.
Did.
And there are so many people in need right now.
Yes, and the more we can help, the better you feel, and the better it is. So
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
often too.
Yeah.
And I know you also wanted to mention just a legacy gone from Canton and Stark County.
Kurt Sherer had recently passed, and I just can't say enough about Kurt. My condolences goes to his wife and his family. I would put I've been a lifelong Democrat, and I consider Kurt, I've voted for Kurt historically, that I would put him in the same lines as when you talk about Ralph Regula. He has done so much for just not the city of Canton, but Stark County as a whole, and those are some extremely big shoes to fill.
You sure are.
And, just my condolences goes to his family, and it's a huge, huge loss and a huge void right now.
Yeah, we're going to miss him. We sure are going to miss him. That's for sure. All right, well, thank you for coming by.
Yeah, thank you, Pam.
I know you'll do it again soon, and have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you also, and I'll see you next week.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Pam.
Canton's Morning News with Pam Cook.
If you missed one of our guests, get the podcast now or